Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Join us for yet another episode of Uncommentary coming to you during the Cricket World Cup 2023. I'm in Melbourne. My name's Dev, and I have, as usual, with me my friend Narayanan joining me from Mumbai.
Hello.
We hours of the morning in Mumbai, but Narayanan told me he was wide awake following the World Cup rugby final. Incredible super thriller match between South Africa and New Zealand. South Africa held tight to maintain their streak, and they were the defending champions, and they brought the glory home. Disappointing for New Zealand and New Zealand rugby fans. The All Blacks played really well, missing out by 1 point. But moving away from rugby to another World Cup that we are talking about, that we are here to talk about, the Cricket World Cup, grand stage. You can't go wrong on so many occasions, but teams did end up going wrong. We had so many upsets. We are coming to you after 2 weeks. Sorry, we were away last week. I was down with COVID, but I'm back now. And Narayanan was itching to get back, and he was sprucing me up, cheering me. Hey, come on, Dev, let's have a session. And here we are. Narayanan, let's talk about the upsets. And the last match we covered was India-Pakistan. No surprise there. India comfortably bringing it home. But difficult for other teams. England, what happened to them? And Bangladesh yesterday. Let's talk through, Narayanan. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a good gap between our last podcast, and there has been surprising results. There has been upsets which have gone, and the entire table has opened up.
Mm.
Uh, yes, India versus Pakistan. We did a preview. India did beat Pakistan comfortably, which was not much of a surprise. But yeah, winning the toss and choosing to field first was kind of I was hopeful about, which turned out to be true.
My heart
Um,
stopped and my eyes were wide open with angst and surprise. I'm like, why, Rohit? Why? That's one thing you do back first. But then he had, we can hear say as many things, and like the commentators say, it's easy for us to talk from the comforts of our lounge, sitting on the sofa on the lounge chair and commenting uncommentary, but Rohit Sharma knows his team, his squad well.
yeah, and you can see the confidence in the Indian team right now that they feel they are in a good zone when they have a target in mind. They know what to chase, and considering that the bowlers are bowling really well, they're not letting teams off the hook. And the middle overs, they are literally squeezing teams and restricting them to totals, which the way the team started, it looked to be beyond that. So yeah, that way, I think it's a good gamble to have to win toss and choose to field first. But yeah, I think India should look at batting first in the tournament also, rather than going into the knockouts and then batting first for the first time in the tournament, which might be a new challenge altogether. But yeah, coming back to England's problems, England, the defending champions, are knocked out of the World Cup. The first team to be knocked out in the opening five matches itself. Very poor performance, just 2 points out of the five matches played so far. And yeah, they have lost to Afghanistan, which was an upset victory. The Afghans played really well. They
Yeah.
lost the other day to Sri Lanka as well. So yeah, things are not going that well for England,
Sri
especially
Lanka,
with the
Sri Lanka now have beaten England 5 times consecutive in the past 5 World Cups, starting from 2005. Each World Cup they've
oh
convincingly
starting
beaten
from
England.
uh, starting from
2007. 2007.
99 was the last time England beat Lanka in a World Cup.
Yes, but
So,
after that, I think they didn't have any. They were in different groups. So since
okay, okay,
2005, 2007, that's when they had this winning streak against England. And
yeah.
another upset that we'll definitely talk about, but let's get back to England. I want your views on Afghanistan beating Pakistan. Um, but before that, let's talk about England, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I think England's performance coming into the tournament has not been in the right frame of mind, especially with the contract negotiations uh, just this past week being declared as concluded. And one of the team members in the squad has not been given a contract, David Willey.
Mm,
Um, that could be one big factor. Secondly, the whole idea of murmurs that all these players have been saying that ODI cricket is irrelevant. It's only franchisee T20 cricket, the 100 and the Test matches. But if you look at the importance of one day cricket, it's the middle overs which counts. It's not the first 20 or the last 20. It's the middle overs which makes a big difference between getting a good, respectable total and how you handle the situation. Don't lose that many wickets, consolidate your innings, build up a partnership, and that's how we move forward. And that's where teams have been falling short when you see these new emerging nations that are coming that play a good amount of ODI cricket compared to the top three, four nations around the world which are focusing on Test and T20. Uh, they know, right? That's all they get to play amongst themselves. Though it might not be the best competitive cricket when you come into the World Cup and you're playing all the other top nations of the world. But yeah, when it comes to playing amongst each other, they play a good amount of ODI cricket and T20 cricket, which is where I think England as a team in spite of them being dominating in home conditions, you move them away from home and they have been quite abysmal in their
yeah.
performance altogether.
Yeah, and with the popularity of 100 in England, they are trying to push that form of cricket more on the global scenario. But I believe they can't compete with the likes of IPL. IPL is a phenomenon in itself. And even Big Bash, that's very popular here, does not match up to the levels of IPL at all, because IPL has its global presence and its presence, and it's viewable in more than 100 countries across the world, even to countries where cricket is not played that much. So I think they have a tough competition, really uphill task in pushing that 100 format. But like Harsha Bogle says, for TV broadcasters, the 1 day format is the best because you have 100 overs, and 100 overs means 100 times they can show their ads. And of course, any little break in between, like an injury break or the lunchtime, they can promote their products. So they get the entire day to promote their products. What best opportunity they've got as compared to T20, where they still we can have those sliders on the side of the screen, but the screen presence in 1 day is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the Asia Cup final, which unfortunately the entire match ended up in about 3.5 hours itself. That's because the entire match lasted only about 22 overs.
Yeah.
Uh, when it came to the presentation ceremony, there was a good 1 hour delay for holding the presentation ceremony. See, you could kind of gauge, right, where this is heading to. The advertiser definitely wanted to put in more and more advertisement for which they have paid money, but the
Mm,
match is all over. So delay the presentation so that you can squeeze in that many ads in between.
yeah. Moving on. Thanks for your amazing views on England. Moving on to Pakistan, abysmal.
Yeah, Pakistan is being Pakistan because you never know which Pakistan is going to turn up on the day. It could be a world beater Pakistan, or it could be the one that loses close matches, or it could be the one that capitulates itself into something like 150 all out as well. So yeah, Pakistan being Pakistan, results are not going their way. Three consecutive losses, just 4 points on the table. Uh, they are pretty much out of the World Cup, barring other results going their way, and they have to win all the remaining matches. So it's not entirely over for Pakistan, but it looks very bleak considering that they require the other top nations to lose at least two of their remaining four matches, which does not look a high probability of it happening. So yeah, also there's a lot of news coming in that the Pakistani camp is divided between the captaincy of Babar Azam and Rizwan and Shaheen Shah Afridi, all vying for the captaincy spot. And PCB coming out with a media release just this past midweek, asking the supporters to rally behind the team on the eve of the match, which they lost to South Africa. So it is there is something brewing in that camp. No one is sure what exactly is happening, but yeah, the captaincy of Babar has not been that great this tournament, especially the way he's rotated the bowlers. Or yes, he's in search of wickets, but he's got the wrong bowlers at the wrong time, and that is what makes a big difference. Especially when you as a good captain, you take a look at Rohit, how he handles his bowlers and whom he gets on and what situation, and that's what makes a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with you on the difference between Rohit and Baba. Um, it's also important that as fans, to back your team. Yes, we are a cricket crazy subcontinent. Indians, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, Nepalis, Afghans, and Bangladeshis, they love their cricket. And while the team is not performing, you want your fans to cheer you up. Like we always say, having the crowd with you is like having an extra fielder on the ground, or it's like 16 people, not a team of 11. But when it comes to uh, controversies over the history of the game of Pakistani cricket, you have seen such divides in the past when you would have the likes of Maliks and Amir Sohails and Saeed Anwars. There would always be that divide. Players not agreeing to the captain's point of view, and then coaches uh, stopping their, breaching their contracts and flying away home mid tournaments. A lot of controversies, and you rightly said you never know which Pakistani side would turn up on the ground on the field. On their day, they can beat any side of the world, but this tournament, the World Cup, has been particularly forgettable for them. And I saw a meme where it was really funny. It said Pakistan will qualify for the semi-finals if Australia lose to New Zealand, if Sri Lanka lose, if Afghanistan, Netherlands, Bangladesh, England, all of them lose, if Joe Biden runs a seven marathon in a day, if Indians are able to walk to the moon in 2 days. So
Yeah, yeah. There's too many permutations and combinations, but the least they can do is just win their matches, and even that they are not able to. If you look at how South Africa tried their best to choke with
yeah,
Markram throwing his wicket at the end with only 21 runs to go, and then there was a collapse, and you could see how South Africa just scraped with one wicket in hand.
yeah, and you could see Bavuma all charged up at when the winning runs were hit, and you could sense that feeling. Oh no, not again, South Africa, don't choke. But I think that was one of the closest games that we've had in the World Cup so far. Only match that could beat that was the one that we had yesterday between Australia and New Zealand. Oh boy, what a game! Amazing thriller. When you have 19 runs to win in the last over, Mitchell Stark with the ball, and you start with five wides down the leg. Nisham could have literally not he would have never dreamt in his wildest dreams this is what he'll be getting to, and losing by how many? 5 runs, I guess. But
Yeah,
at the end,
yeah,
I think
Pirates.
Australia just managed to scrape.
uh, it was the last match to be held in Dharamshala, by the way. So uh, also, it was a good stadium to have to witness, especially with the surrounding the Lauter
Mm.
Hill Range.
Beautiful
That's generally
location.
that's generally shown on TV. Australia started off in T20 mode for the entire 50 overs. Uh, Initially, I thought they would cross 400, but yeah, 389 with the um, crazy hitting of Maxwell at the end. Yeah, New Zealand, they were not literally out of the picture, except they kept losing wickets at
Yeah,
regular intervals. But yeah, I think that 27 run Nisham over is the difference between today's victory and loss. If you look at the overall, if you see the overall how the match has panned out, the 27 runs that Nisham leaked in the final
yeah,
over of his, I think that was a major difference. But yeah, he played a good knock. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish it for them.
yeah. Superstar youngster Rachin Ravindra, yet again a century, and what a way to finish at Dharamshala, one of the best venues, one of the highest venues in the world. Um, Travis Head came back, was called mid tournament. Hey mate, pack up and come here. We need you. And here he is after a jet lag, comes up with a bang, a century. And David Warner, for the second time in the row, I thought
Mm.
he'll score 200, but fell short. But what an amazing turnaround for Australia after losing to India. I think they would have had a serious conversation in the dressing room. And if they have any chance to qualify for the semifinals, they have to win every single game. And they're on the right track. I guess what we now need is the middle order. Maxwell, like you said, is in a beast mode. We need Steve Smith and Labuschagne to chip in with some runs, and you have a really good competition on your hand.
I think Australia has hit top gear.
Mm.
Um, I don't think there is much more that they can ask for. All their players have come back into form at the right time.
Yep.
So yeah, they are going great guns, and the way they are defeating opponents, they are also ensuring that their net run rate is not taking a hit. On the contrary, it's actually giving them the added push with the monstrous victory margin of 309 the other day as well.
Yeah.
So they are taking care of that in case if other teams and they finish on the same points, at least the NRR will take them into the knockouts.
Yeah. And if you were to compare the number of boundaries hit, crazy number of boundaries hit in yesterday's game, 93 runs in boundaries, um, both teams in combination, I mean. But I see what you mean when you're talking about run rates. Australia sitting at 0.97. Um, the highest, the table toppers, South Africa with 10 points, 2.03. India with 5 games, 5 wins, 1.35. New Zealand, 6 matches, 4 wins and 2 losses, sitting at 8 and 1.2. Australia, 6. matches played and 4 wins, 2 losses.
Hmm.
The next match, I think it's pretty dud for England playing against India today, and they will want to salvage some pride. India on the other side would want to maintain their winning streak. They've, I think this has been the best performance so far, 5-0. They are looking to go make it 6-0. And like you said, I would also want India to bat first in this game, just to turn around and see, have that practice. Oh, I should be careful. I should not be saying this as a practice match. No, no match in the World Cup is a practice match. Every match is a serious business.
No,
India should take it really
yeah,
seriously.
at least bat first and see how you approach the match
Yeah,
and the situation, rather than always trying to chase and considering all your other past match results have gone your way. But
yeah,
yeah, I would agree with you. Win the toss, bat first, and Lucknow is a spin friendly wicket,
yeah.
so I would see also Ashwin getting a run in tomorrow.
Hmm. And with a belter, batting first when the ball is coming onto the bat, as the game progresses, the ball will becomes the pitch will become slower. It'll be difficult to get as much from the pitch for the fast bowlers. Having said that, how much do you think?
Also it will allow the Indian bowlers to cope up and see how they cope up with the dew factor in
Yeah,
the
that's
evening.
that's what I was coming to. How do you think would the due factor impress on the match?
Yeah, and there would be dew, and it will have an impact, and which is why I want India to go through this, because considering that they have only batted second the entire tournament so far, I need them to go through the paces of batting first and fielding second, under lights, and
Mm.
see how does it impact their performance. And yeah, as you rightly said, India is coming on a good streak of 5 wins on the trot.
Mm.
Not taking anyone lightly, though England has been knocked out of the tournament. I think India would like to get a victory today, and uh, allow to test their bench strength, uh, players also to get a couple of games into the tournament, considering if someone in the playing squad comes down with an injury, and you don't want a situation wherein someone just walked into the team and the he is overawed by the situation itself. So I think considering all of that, I think India would like to get a victory tomorrow, and then use the remainder 3 4 matches as giving their reserves an opportunity to have a run in.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Luckily for India, in the last game, the lower middle order also got a bat in. The likes of Jadeja
Yeah,
came in and
yeah.
made some runs. It was really important. You don't want your top orders, yes, you want your best batters to make some runs, but at the same time, at a global stage, you want your all your batters to get some runs and not get a surprise like we had in 2003 World Cup, if you remember. The likes of Dinesh Mongia batted for the first time in the final against Australia, because it was Sachin, Sehwag, Ganguly, Dravid, and Yuvraj. You were making those runs, so you want everybody to get a hit. You said Ashwin should get a chance. Who would you drop out from the bowling lineup? You've had likes of Bumrah, who's been consistently delivering success.
Hmm.
Siraj has been amazing, and Shami, you play him one match, and he's pretty much the player of the match, taking 4 wickets. Who do you drop from the bowlers?
Uh, if you say whom do we drop from the bowlers, the the obvious answer would be Shami. But then considering Shami has picked up five,
Yeah,
I would
five. Yeah.
think of I would think of, bowling Shami and Bumrah together and dropping Siraj.
Mm.
Else, would India go in with six bowlers, considering that they have confidence in the batting lineup to, take care of themselves? That I think you can draw the spot where Hardik is not going to be playing tomorrow,
Mm.
considering he's still injured. I think that spot can be given to Ashwin. Six bowlers: Kuldeep, Ashwin, Siraj, Shami, Bumrah, and Jaddu.
And I think Ashwin can bat pretty well.
Yeah. So it depends on how the team management is thinking. Give the spot of Hardik to Ashwin instead of giving it to Sky, and then the combination remains the same. You have an extra bowler as a sixth or as well, or if you're only going with five bowlers, then that's a tricky proposition. Would you drop Shami after he picked up Pfeiffer? But yeah, that looks the obvious choice. But I would kind of drop Siraj and keep Shami for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I think this is where this is our forte, our territory. We always share those unpopular opinions. People would think we are crazy. Like, what are you talking about, mate? Having going in with six bowlers, dropping Shami who's just taken five. That's why I love this show, and I think our fans also love this show because of that reason. We do not stick to the standard mode of thinking. We allow all out of the box thinking. One last thought: uh, your predictions, India England. Like if this was the older generation, they would say, "Oh, you know what? Lose this match so you get that shake up before heading into the finals." But the younger generation, I think they are ready. They'll be saying, "Oh, we'll win this World Cup all matches. We'll beat all the teams in the leagues
Mm,
and in the
mm.
semis as well as the finals, and we are lifting this World Cup." So that's the difference in the thing that we've had in this generation. Your opinion?
Uh, to be honest, I actually don't care. Uh, for a couple of reasons actually. One is the priority should be the people like the last match, the middle order getting a bat, and also India batting first and bowling second under lights. That is my more of a focus rather than the win or loss. Considering that we are in a strong position, so we are definitely going to be making to the knockouts. So it's irrespective that I would worry too much on the result per se, but I would rather focus on the small factors that goes towards the victory or a or the performance overall.
You spoke like a true sports person. I think Rohit will be thinking the same, not thinking about winning, just going out there and performing. I hope you've all enjoyed this session just like we did, and we will be back next weekend before another match that India goes into. But hope we have a good game and India wins, and hope you all have a good weekend and see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.